Hello there. I've had a number of requests for this song. It's called Fantasy, and it's by a singer by the name of Alina. And I'm not even going to pronounce her last name because I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of different ways of playing this. I shaved it down a little bit, so I took out a lot of the chords that really aren't very necessary to try and make it as easy as possible to play. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off by looking at the first section of the song, which is the first verse. And basically what you're going to be doing is playing E minor, B minor, C, and A minor. Okay, so to play along with this song in album key, as they call it, those are the four chords that you're going to want. E minor, B minor, C, A minor. Okay, they sound quite nice. If you know your bar chords, you can play E minor up here on the 5th string, and B minor here, and C over here, and A minor over here. But to be honest with you, it's fine either way. If you don't know your bar chords, you can just stay down with these open chords. Now, the groove is going to be up to you because there's just a lot of things happening in this song. So really it comes down to whether or not you want to strum a lot or you just want to strum a little bit. In the very beginning of the song, you don't strum much anyway. So, I mean, if you just did like a... And with all the stuff that I do, if you play a chord a little bit differently than I do, a different kind of variation of it, don't sweat it. You know, if you play C like this, which is a C add 9, and you'd rather play it that way than a normal C, don't worry about that stuff. Remember, the goal here is to learn how to play a song and have some fun. So we've got E minor, B minor, C, and A minor. So that's how the first verse goes. Now, when the first chorus comes in, you're going to play A minor. So you ended on A minor. Now you're going to start back on A minor. B minor, C, and then E flat. Now there's no real wonderful way of playing an E flat if you don't know your bar chords. If you do know your bar chords, you're going to go to the 6th fret of the 5th string and make a bar chord, a major bar chord right there. Okay? If you don't know that, the other thing that you could do to make it easier for you is make a D chord and move up 1 fret higher, but don't hit the 4th string, just hit the bottom 3 strings. And you could play it that way too, and it would be fine. If you hit the 4th string, it's going to sound ugly, so try and stay away from that note. So you're going to have, this is first verse, you're going to have A minor, B minor, C, and then that E flat, wherever you want to play it. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to go to a D after that. Okay, then it goes to D, and it just stays on there until the verse kicks in. So that's first verse, first chorus. Now we're moving on to the second verse. Now the second verse is different than the first verse. You're going to be doing A minor, B minor, C, then back to B minor. And it sounds like the B minors are kind of, they're jumping, they're coming in early. Sometimes we call that pushing. So you could do like a A, again, however it's comfortable for you. The strumming is kind of whatever you want it to be, but that's what's going to happen in the third verse is you're playing A minor to B minor to C, then back to B minor. And you just keep doing that over and over and over. Okay, then we move on to the second chorus. Now the second chorus is real sparse. It just hits an A minor and then holds it, and then you'll hear it kind of move to a D. It's not a real prominent D, but there's a D sound in there. And then we head back again. So now we go back to the second verse, which is the A minor to B minor, to C, to B minor, and we do that again. Okay? So if you're writing this down for structure, your first thing that you do is verse number 1, which was E minor, B minor, C, A minor. That's verse number 1. Then you did chorus number 1, which was A minor, B minor, C, E flat, and then it goes to D and it stays on D. That's the first chorus. Then you start the second verse. The second verse does A minor, B minor, C, B minor. Okay, make sure that you're writing that down because this is really important that you memorize those parts. Then you have the second chorus. The second chorus is just kind of that A minor that holds, and then it moves to a D and it holds on that, but the D is pretty darn subtle. You don't hear a lot of it. Then after that second chorus, we're going to go back to the second verse again. So we're doing A minor, B minor, C, B minor. okay? After the second verse there, okay, which is technically the third verse, but we're doing the same thing. Then we move on to going to the third chorus, which is the same as the first chorus. So now you're back on A minor, B minor, C, E flat, and then you move back to the D, and you hang out there. Okay. Then the song ends doing A minor, B minor, C, B minor over and over and over and over until the very end of the song. Okay? So there really isn't that much to this song, but you just have to decide where you want to play your chords and how you want to play your chords. You know, if you go with the absolute easiest thing you could do, you could play E minor. B minor you could play like this, if you know how to play that. And then C. A minor's pretty easy. So all of those would be pretty good. Then it's just that pesky E flat, which is a D 1 fret higher. Okay? So please remember, when you're watching these videos, my job is to try and get you the song in as short amount of time as possible. So you want to make sure you have your chord structures. You want to make sure you understand how the song structure goes, right? Verse 1, chorus 1. Verse 2, chorus 2. Verse 2, I always call it the same thing because then I know what I'm doing. Chorus 1, and then verse 2 out. That's how I would write it down. And then write down what your verses are doing, like we just talked about. Verse 1 is E minor, B minor, C, A minor. Chorus 1 is A minor, B minor, C, E flat, and then to D. You know, just write that down on a piece of paper. And then the last thing is once you've got your chordal structures, you've got your song structure, then you have to decide rhythmically what you want to do with the song. And that's different for everybody. If you watch, you know, a bunch of these different videos that you'll see on YouTube, you're going to find that a lot of people change the grooves of the songs to sort of accommodate their voice or their knowledge of their guitar, things like that. So you could give it something like a... Or you could keep it a little more subtle. Or maybe you want it straighter. You know, it doesn't make any difference. Any of them, just whatever's comfortable for you, that's what you're looking for. So hopefully this helps you. It's a fairly straightforward song. If it seems like there's too many sections for you to memorize, honestly, you could probably pick one of the verses and one of the choruses and do it all the way through the song, and it would sound just fine anyway. But I just wanted to show you what it sounds like is actually in there. There's a few little odds and ends of chords that I didn't touch on, but they seem fairly irrelevant to the actual function of the song. So hopefully that helps you practice hard, and if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. So take care, and I'll speak to you soon.